Welcome to the Look Good, Move Well podcast.
You have not had the experience yet of like, you haven't coached either of your kids, or you haven't like, your kids haven't done like team sports, have they?
No, they do. They've done like individual sports, I would say.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
The team sport thing is very interesting. This is like the first, I think this is like the first like team sport where I'm not coaching the girls. Oh. Yeah. Because I've done the soccer thing. Yeah. But now they're playing softball. And, it's funny. It's interesting. And man, they are, this age for, Noah's age for softball is brutal. They do kid pitch. So the kids pitch to the hitters instead of coaches pitching. It's the first year where it's just kid pitch, in terms of age. And these girls like don't have accuracy yet. So it's just like this free for all of just like, I mean, probably 70% of people just walk. They just get walked around the bases. And it's just like, once you score 5 runs, like the next team comes up. Like it doesn't matter that you don't have 3 outs or anything like that. And like, so like girls are getting hit left and right, like by the pitch. Like they're just hit batter, like, all right, walk. Like
this sounds like total chaos.
Total chaos, yeah. And like every time like the bat hits the ball, like for whatever reason in the game, it's like a big deal. It's like, whoa, we got contact. But my poor daughter was so like her second at bat, she called me over, and Noah's like really good at crying like on demand, like whenever she wants to like, show that she has a big feeling, like she can like bring tears up, like even if she like, and you see it all the time, she'll be like crying, like, and then like something will happen, she'll totally stop, and she's like, wait, what's going on over there? So this is like, I know she's having a feeling right now. She's calling me over, but she's like also doing the tears thing because she wants to really like, but she's like, I don't want to go to bat again. Like she had her first at bat, and then the second one she's like, I don't want to do it, I'm so scared, like the ball was getting so close to me. Like she just thinks she's going to get hit by a pitch. Because in the first game she got hit. Not very hard, but she got hit by a ball. And she's like, I was like, honey, I don't really know how that works. Like, I don't know if you can just come out of the lineup. Like, she's like, can you go talk to the coach and like, see if they'll like they can skip me. And I was like, all right, let me go talk to mommy real quick. And then by the time I got back to like see how she was doing, if she really wanted me to ask, like she had already moved into the on deck circle, and she was like getting ready. And at that point she was like, don't do anything. Like, don't make a scene. Like, I don't want, at this point, now that the girls know I'm next, like I don't want anybody to know that I was going to like, not like, I was scared to go up and bat. But yeah, she goes up and, like it's 8 9-year-olds on the team. And there's like, some 8-year-old girls are like teeny tiny, and some 9-year-old girls are like big girls, like much bigger, like a foot, like a head taller than Noah, and Noah's kind of tall. And this girl was out there like pitching. She was one of these bigger girls, and she was throwing heat, like, and not accurate heat. Like it was kind of going everywhere. So I told Noah before she goes up, I was like, babe, just like, you can just stand further away from the plate. Like you'll feel a little bit more safe. And like the second she gets up there, she's like at the very edge of the batter's box. She's like kind of timid. And the coach is like, nah, move closer to the plate. I was like, oh no. So she's like inches closer. But like, I'm like, there's no way she's swinging at anything. She just sat there just like dodging the ball. Like she like ducked out of the way of a pitch that was called a strike. So it was like right over the middle. And she's like, but man, that's my experience watching softball these days. It's pretty wild.
What's the parent scene? Are parents like,
We're all kind of saying the same thing. Like, oh, this is brutal. Like, the games are 90 minutes, and at 90 minutes, a timer goes off and it's done. And we've made it through 2 innings. It's like 35, 40-minute innings.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So yeah, but it's kind of cool because like I've never been on the sidelines with the other like parents to like, chat and whatever, get into the game or cheer or whatever. But I'm getting that chance too now, which is kind of cool.
That's fun.
All right. What's your individual sport experience with any of the kids?
Oh, well, my kids they tried Kung Fu. Like, I used to do Kung Fu for quite a long time. And Marquez stuck with it longer. He got pretty good by the end, but then like it just wasn't as fun because there just weren't a lot of kids doing it with him.
Mm-hmm.
And now he just does gym. Yeah, I love gym.
I love gym. Gym can.
Yeah, and Pascal does parkour now. And then she's also started working out with me on Saturdays.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Love it. Well, quick banter and then pivot to the topic of the day.
Yeah.
Tell me about the pyramid, Satya.
Okay. Well, we had a client come in the other day, and he'll be back. And I'm always scoping out opportunities for content, of course, but I happened to notice that you had written out his plan for him on the whiteboard in the gym in a very compelling way that just made it look extremely simple to follow, and also did a great job of visually prioritizing what needs to be prioritized and minimizing what needs to be minimized in this pyramid style format. And after he was gone, when we were recording content that day, I had asked you to do a little whiteboard breakdown, which should be up on our Instagram at some point, probably by the time you hear this podcast. And it was just very straightforward and easy to follow the way that you broke it down. And so I thought this could be good to go into in terms of not only the breakdown of like what this person's plan is to basically like achieve the goal of losing 15 pounds in 12 weeks, but also sort of more of the who and the why of like how this person came to our gym and what he's really looking for as a client, because I think that the situation he's in, where this plan is meeting him, is also one that a lot of you out there will share.
Yeah. Well, let me give a little background on the client, or this type of client.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is like a former athlete, I think a pretty high level athlete. His sport happened to be swimming, but a male client. There are females that can fit this avatar, this description. I'm going to give a lot of, numbers today and examples that are more appropriate to men in terms of like rate of fat loss and so forth. And this is like, we deal with male and female clients all the time. We're about 70-30 male to female clients inside the coaching business. I don't know what it is in the app, but so with that said, like male, college, athlete, he swam, but you could have played another sport. Played, probably at that time in great physical condition, great shape, and by virtue of mostly just like training a lot, working out a lot, usually never like had a real understanding of good strength training. They just played a lot of sports and they did what what the coaches told them to do in the gym. Never really got to understand nutrition super well, unless they were like a elite endurance athlete, where those athletes really had to understand fueling much better. But most athletes, even swimmers, like the famously like Michael Phelps talking about just like eating McDonald's and just eating all kinds of calories to just get in fuel. I'm sure it wasn't that bad, but there's this like, when you're putting out that many calories, like it's really just about getting calories into your system. And then, like some athletes like understand protein a little bit, but there's never any structure to like, how do they get into great shape? It was just because they were playing a sport and trying to get better at the sport and usually moving a lot. Then fast forward about anywhere from 10 to 15 years, your typical guy has like kind of climbed some of the like initial ranks in whatever work field that they're in, and they've kind of gotten into somewhat of a senior position. So there's more responsibility, more financial gain, more financial opportunity. Probably they maybe have met somebody, they're in a relationship, got a partner, maybe they've started a family, especially if they're getting closer to that 40 age, 41. You're like 15 years into this, like, I'm no longer a competitive athlete. I'm probably trying to keep up my shape. And it isn't until somewhere in my 30s that like what I used to do and how I used to approach just like exercise and, doing some training and just generally eating however well I could, like didn't have to think about it too much, maintain like pretty good body shape and composition. Wasn't as elite an athlete as I used to be, but I wasn't like out of shape. I was just like, I was okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then around 30s, things started to shift and more stress in life, more responsibilities, a little less opportunity to move your body, more sleepless nights because now you got deadlines and a lot of people are counting on you, and you got to make big quarterly things and got the big deal coming through, or this is the new startup. And it's like, this is like 30s are like, you're going to build your career and where you stand and set yourself up for like a real, career success in your 40s and 50s so that you can retire. So you're working, you're putting more into that. Plus you finally met somebody and you guys are having the time of your life. You're traveling, you're still, 2 incomes, no kids yet. Like, you're just enjoying the pleasures of life, but the work, the less sleep, body's starting to like break down a little bit, not as strong, maybe putting on a little bit of weight. First kid comes, and then bam, like life completely shifts, and there's even less time, and there's even less sleep, and there's now this added pressure of like, okay, now we got to support this new life. Like that's an expense. There's new, bills that are coming in that I didn't have before. Childcare costs. Like, oh my gosh, I got to pay like $2,000 a month for preschool. Like, what the heck? Like, this is nuts. I got to start saving for this. So then what are you going to do? You're going to go work more. Mm-hmm. Like, and then 40 comes and it's just like, oh my God, what happened? I'm out of shape. I used to be this like super fit collegiate swimmer, like, or whatever. And maybe you go and just try and like figure it out. Like, I'm going to white knuckle this thing. Like, I'm just going to
go to the gym.
You follow the trends. You follow this. Maybe you start to engage in some fitness content. You get onto some program. You do the thing, and you make a little bit of progress. You get some routines, but like just nothing is making a measurable impact. And like you're 15, 20, God forbid, 50 pounds overweight. I mean, we've seen the whole range, 100 pounds overweight, and even that 15 extra pounds that you like, I wish I was 15 pounds less. I was 180 pounds when I was in my best shape in college. It's like, well, yeah, you were 180 pounds and you were like jacked. Now you're like 200 pounds and you have like, barely, you have a third less muscle than you used to have. So you're really 30 pounds overweight and you've lost a bunch of muscle. So there's a big transformation that's happened. But that's been over 20 years, 15, 20 years. It's not like it happened overnight. You feel like it happened overnight because you went from one, hard life to an extreme of now there's kids in the mix and your sleep sucks and everything, just like the pain of that just like really amplifies how bad it feels. And so, yeah, like you're, okay, I want to commit. I'm ready to do the thing. Like, these are the things I like to do. These are the things that I've been doing. And I'm like, well, here's a system that will, depending on where you're at, let's say you're like, 20 pounds overweight or 50 pounds overweight, depending on your starting position, I'm like, here's a roadmap that in 6 months, you could lose anywhere from 20 to 30 pounds. And actually in the first 12 weeks, like it is not uncommon for guys to lose 15 pounds. Like I have 3 examples right now sitting on my laptop that are active clients that I've just started coaching within the last, 3.5 months that are down almost 20 pounds by just following the system.
Yeah.
And it's not crazy. And what it will do is it will likely make you feel like, is this even enough? Like, am I doing enough? And I'm like, 100% you're doing enough. But you got to do it.
Yeah.
And you have to lock in. And it strips away a lot of the excess, not because the excess things are things you should never do or never come back to doing, or you don't ever have to engage in the rest of your life, but it strips them away because it allows you now to take all of your energy and focus it on the things that matter the most and do them really well. And if you do them really well, you will see tremendous progress. And then you will have this blueprint for how to do it for the rest of your life, because I can get you to the goal, and then we can teach you how to basically come out of this transformation phase into a rebuilding maintenance phase that allows you a lot more freedoms and flexibilities. But you dedicate to 3 to 4 months of cutting, 2 to 3 months of rebuilding, getting back to maintenance, and then most people that we coach at that point are like, now I want to get jacked again. Like, I want to build more muscle. Like, you just showed me that I haven't, like, even at 40 or 42 or 45, like, I still got a lot in me. I thought it was over. So now we go into the building phase. So it's cut, reverse diet maintenance, building phase, a year-long approach, and it will rewrite everything that you know about fitness, health, and what you're capable of in a way that's not crazy, off the charts discipline, like restrictive. It takes discipline. It takes consistency. And so I built this pyramid that I had to show this client who joined our coaching program 2-3 months ago with like this kind of objective goal to like win this body recomposition challenge with his friend. And they had kind of made a bet, basically. And it was like, who can lower their body fat percentage the most and who can increase their muscle mass the most. And it was like the simultaneous goals.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that's just backwards. Like, you're not going to be able to do both very well. You got to pick one or the other. Like, if you're trying to do it over like a 3-month or 4-month period of time. And we never start with people to say, hey, we're going to do both. We're going to build the most muscle possible and we're going to cut the most fat possible. It's possible to have both things happen simultaneously, but you got to be a really deconditioned person. The college athlete that hasn't really done much for 15 years, yeah, that person can do it. But that wasn't this guy. I was like, that was the first mistake, is like you just having kind of two like contradictory goals at the same time. Like, you got to get lean. You got to shed the body fat so you can get into a body composition zone of 10 to 15% body fat where you optimally build muscle from there. That is the optimal muscle building zone for most men. And the vast majority of men sit well outside of that. And so they're like, I want to build some muscle. It's like, well, your body's not even like the prime muscle building physiological state because you're carrying too much body fat, which will restrict some hormonal ability to build muscle. Plus, even if you build muscle, you're not going to be able to see it. You're just going to feel thicker. So we should do this. Let's lose body fat. Let's teach you proper energy balance, proper movement, proper training. And so that was like, said, okay, we got a thing ahead of us. You got 12 weeks until you guys wrap up this challenge. And we're going to focus on this one thing. And instead of going wishy-washy in or out, like you're going to do the thing, you're not going to do the thing, like you're going to give me the full commitment that you're going to do this. If you're going to meet with me once a week in person to train together, like I'll do that with you, but I will only do it if I have your commitment to actually do the process. It will feel like a lot of work, but by the end of it, it will feel so routine and natural and just habitual that you will barely even think about it. So are you in? And he's like, yeah, I'm in. Okay, here's the pyramid, right? Did I set that up fairly well?
Yeah.
Did I miss something? Real quick, if you guys want to get built and not burnt, I made a very cool free blueprint just for you. It shows you how to use my 360-10 formula across an entire week, including sample workouts and nutrition. This is the same system that our clients use to lose an average of 5.5 pounds of fat per month. And they're making the most out of just 3 hours in the gym per week. If you have young kids or life is just crazy busy, you've got nagging pain and injuries, and you just can't face going to extremes that used to work before, be sure to check out the free Built Not Burnt blueprint. You can get it at functional-bodybuilding.com/free.
You didn't miss anything. I think what's really helpful is to show as you go through this plan, the pyramid plan, like the differences, the pyramid scheme, like the differences in like, one thing that we did when we broke this down in short form is like, most people do this.
Yeah.
And this is how this is instead.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So the pyramid has 5 layers to it, I think. we'll see as we go.
I have a photo.
Yeah.
You want the reference?
I can visualize it. I'm pretty sure.
You
but
got it.
Yeah, pull up the photo
I'll
just
pull
in
up the
case.
photo just in case.
Okay, so different layers to this. The base of the pyramid, just like the old food guide pyramid, do more of what's at the bottom, less of what's at the top. You got to build the foundation from the bottom up. Okay, so what was the first thing that I put at the foundation of this pyramid? And I think what most people would think is, okay, I've got to restrict calories dramatically. I'm going to cut calories like all the way down. Like I'm going to do whatever the diet that's out there that cuts the calories the most.
Cabbage soup diet.
Yeah, the cabbage soup diet, the 1 meal a day thing. Like they're just going to choose something that's going to help cut calories. And I believe I said, we're not even starting with calories. We're going to start with movement.
Yeah.
And we're going to start with walking. I want you to walk a lot. 15,000 steps a day. That takes real focus. That's like almost a combined total of like probably 90 minutes of intentional walking a day with depending on what you do for your like work or your lifestyle. It's like you got to be focused on moving. And the reason I do that is because if you're not moving a lot, then we can still get you to lose a bunch of body fat. It's still possible, but you'll have to eat a lot less. And there's a certain threshold for men and women too, but like there's a certain calorie count threshold where if you drop below it for people, it becomes a real psychological battle. And if that's probably around like 1,800 calories for men, anything below that, it starts to feel like, oh my God, like I'm barely getting to eat anything today. Whereas like a 2,000 calorie diet, if you pick the right foods, you get like, high food volume, like you know how to get fiber, you know how to like prep a few different things on your own rather than eating out. Like you can build a day of eating that feels like a lot of food for only 2,000 calories. And if you're walking 15,000 steps for a man who's, let's say 195 pounds, wants to drop 15 pounds, 20 pounds, like that's really doable. And meanwhile, if you're only walking 8,000 steps a day and you're that same size male, like your calories are going to have to go a lot lower than 2,000 calories to see a significant fat loss. So again, that's why I start with walking. And now you might be asking like, well, why not just go and do like 45 minutes of cardio? Wouldn't that like you'd be able to get it done in half the time? And my answer is possibly. Like you could go and run for 45 minutes instead of walking for 90 minutes and cover twice as much ground and basically, it kind of equates to the same number of total steps a day. But here's the issue. Number one, like people generally detest cardio. They don't like doing cardio. Walking is very low activation energy. It's like, oh, just get up and walk, right? It feels easy to start. Like this morning, I actually was like, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to do some cardio. Like I wanted to do a Peloton ride this morning. And I woke up and I was like, I am not feeling it. And rather than just sit around and like, be like feel guilty for not doing my cardio and just think about it, I was just like, cool. Put on a little 20-pound pack, started walking. And that took no convincing to get done, right? And I find that true for so many people. Plus, if you just go and hammer out a hard cardio session, it is very easy for people to just want to sit or be less active the rest of the day. I expended all this energy, I earned it, and now I'm just going to go and
chill. Yeah.
Whereas most people don't have 2 hours in a row in a day to go walking. So they got to do some walking here. They do some walking there. They park their car away from the destination. They walk there. They add some steps in the evening after dinner. They go for a walk with their spouse. They go for a walk with their kids, their friends. Like they're walking laps at the kids' soccer practice instead of just sitting on the sideline. Like they find ways to move throughout the day. Movement throughout the day always beats one movement event in the morning and then sitting all day, right? From a caloric expenditure standpoint, from a mental well-being, from an energy, from a vibrancy, from a digestion standpoint, like all of it gets better. So that's why Steps over cardio every time. Will you do cardio again in your life? Sure, but not during this very simple plan. Okay? So no cardio, 15,000 steps, that's the foundation we need to get more energy expenditure so that you can eat enough while being in a calorie deficit to stay sane and be able to succeed with this thing.
Yeah.
You won't have to walk 15,000 steps for the rest of your life, although some people get really attached to it because they're like, this feels so good. I don't ever want to give this up. But you'll be able to adjust that later on in the next phase, phase 2. Okay, so we're moving up the pyramid. We're out of the base. Now we're into calories. You have to track your calories. You have to track your food. And there's no diet that I'm saying here. Like, calories are king. It's not macros. It's not high carb, low carb, high fat, low fat, super high protein, blah, 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 fasting this, keto that, vegan this, plant-based that, animal-based this. Like, it's none of that. It is just how many calories went into your body. And you have to track this in a tracking app. And you have to measure your food as accurately as humanly possible in your life. Okay? What's easier to track? Steamed broccoli, chicken breast, and, a baked potato at home on a food scale, or, going to Chipotle, getting a Chipotle bowl, and then looking up at the menu, it says the chicken Chipotle bowl is 560 calories. Like, for sure, the thing that you're measuring and that you have control of is going to be so much more accurate. People see that number and they're like, cool, it was 560 calories. They can go over by hundreds of calories on that you're just like, you have no idea. So we have to get measured. And again, you're going to do the discipline thing for these 12 weeks so that you can learn and that you can go out into the world and eat more freely and make better decisions, because we're going to show you how to do that while staying accurate and measured within your calorie targets by a much smaller margin of error than what the vast majority of people do. So many times I hear people like, oh, I counted calories, it didn't work. I'm like, you counted calories and you counted them wrong. So of course it didn't work. Yeah. It's like, yeah, I've added 2 + 2 a million times and I've never gotten 4. So that's not right. It's like, nope, a million times you just got the wrong answer because you didn't count correctly. It's the same thing with this calorie game. And I gave a very simple mathematical equation. It's take your body weight and multiply it by either 9 if you have a lot of body fat to lose, or 11 if you have a little less body fat to lose, and that's your calorie target. Like, it's pretty simple. That's what you're trying to hit every day. Now we can layer on a bit more accuracy to that and a better understanding of like, well, given what we're telling you to do in the areas that, like, this is going to work better. But ultimately it's like, that's it. The real work comes in the tracking and doing it accurately, and then learning how to fill those calories out with the highest quality foods that are going to give you the most volume, the highest amount of protein, highest amount of fiber, and carbohydrates to fuel your activity. So that's the next layer that we're going to get into, but that's where it's like, yeah, it's simple. Walk 15,000 steps. Okay, how am I going to do that? Where am I going to do that in my day? How do I fit that in? How do I do that with cardio? How do I do that with all my other activities that I want to do? It's like, nope, the plan gets more simple when we guide you on that. Then step 2, calories. Okay, the calorie number is simple. Like, this is what I'm supposed to get. But hey, if you can only eat 1,900 calories a day, you better have a pretty good idea, and you better have some clear guidance on how to make 1,900 calories a day feel delicious, filling, and give you enough energy.
Yeah.
Okay. So then we're going up to layer 3. Now we're into macros. Steps, calories, and now macros. And now somebody's probably thinking like, well, Marcus, macros and calories are the same thing. Because like when you prescribe macros, then calories follow. And that is true, right? There's no macros without calories and calories without macros. But the total number of calories is the most important. So we aim for that every day. Then we layer on top of that what the pattern that we see. This is the way that most men that are trying to lose this amount of weight, that are in this stage, have success doing it. And it is with the type of activity schedule that we ask for. And that is get 0.8 grams up to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. Most people know the 1 gram per 1 pound, but 1 gram per 1 pound doesn't always work for everybody, because depending on how many calories you have in your target, 1 gram per pound of body weight could take up a very large percentage of your calories. Why is that a problem? Well, if you don't find, sitting down to a plate that has chicken breast on it and 3 orange slices on the side, if you don't see that as a problem, then by all means, go with 1 gram per pound of body weight. But if you go with 0.8, then okay, we shrink the size of the amount of protein on the plate by a little bit, still get plenty, still enough to do what it does really well. But now we get to add more veggies. We get to add more, fruit. We get to add more volume of other food, where you're going to get fiber, where you're going to get other nutrients that are going to keep you energized, that are going to keep you feeling full, that are going to make you feel like you're not in a prison of eating chicken breasts and egg whites. So that's why people who are like, I eat 2 grams per pound of body weight of protein. It's like, it's way too much. 0.8 to 1, somewhere in there. Next, we're going to take whatever your calories that you're going to eat for the day, and we're going to take 20% of those calories, divide that by 9, and that gives you how much fat you get per day. 20% of your total calories go to fat. That's going to make sure we're getting enough fat for basic physiology, hormone functions, recovery. Like, you're not depriving yourself of essential fats. Remember, you've got all this fat on your body that you can use for things that are required in your body. So you got essential fatty acids. You're not short on fat. You got plenty of fat. You got plenty of energy. Somebody said, I was talking to somebody yesterday, like, I miss my snacks. And their coach said, you got enough snacks on that right leg to last you for the next year. I was like, that's harsh and facts. So that's how we're going to do fat. And then carbohydrates, it's going to be everything else. So, right, you got your protein, that takes up some of your calories. You got the 20% of calories for fat, and then the rest is going to be carbs. And so hopefully that gets you to somewhere in like the 35 to maybe even 45% range or 40% range of total calories going to carbohydrates. And this is another place where people are like, whoa, that's totally backwards. Like, you're telling me that of all my macros, carbs are going to take up the most calories? I'm like, yes, that's the goal. We want you to have as many carbs as we can get into your diet as possible, while making sure we're hitting the requirements on fat and protein. Why is that? Well, carbs they have really 2 important benefits. Number 1, they tend to come in forms, if you choose the right ones, and we coach you how to choose the right ones, that have the most volume to them. So they're foods that take up a lot of space on the plate. When you ingest high volume foods, you start to feel full. So if you're on a low calorie diet, you want carbs, because a tiny tablespoon of olive oil and 3 cups of broccoli or more are equivalent in terms of calories. Which one's going to fill you up more? There's just no question about it. Go and just drink a tablespoon of olive oil when you're starving hungry, and tell me how that does for you. Like, it's just not, and the evidence shows, like, it's not high on the satiety index. But vegetables, right, like more potatoes, more starches, these things do help fill you up. They also carry some fiber, slows down digestion. These are all good things, all right? And remember, you're still going to have some fat. It's going to maybe a teaspoon of olive oil, not 2 tablespoons or 3 tablespoons, what people normally spray. So carbs are filling, they're satiating. And number 2, carbs are where we are going to derive our immediate energy sources for movement. Because movement, as I already said, it was like the foundation of this, the steps, right? But also layer number 4, which we're going to get to. But you've got to have carbs so that your body can have some chance at doing things intensely. Because layer number 4 is resistance training. And it's going to be 3 to 4 times per week of lifting weights for 45 to 60 minutes. Full body. And those are come in, warm up, pick just 2 exercises that you're going to really push yourself safely to the limits on. And then you're going to have about 4 to 5 additional accessory exercises that you're going to do in supersets with shorter rest periods where you're going to push yourself hard, but these don't have to be to absolute failure. You just push yourself close to failure. Then you do a 5 to 7 minute stretch at the end and you get on your way. And that can take, like I said, anywhere from 45 to 60 minutes and you're done, and you do that 3 or 4 times per week. And the rest of the time you're walking or you're making good meals and living your life. Now there was a 5th layer to this, and that was, and go backtrack to the lifting. A lot of people go to the gym and they're like, what kind of weight training should I do? How should I spend my time in the gym? A lot of people go to the gym time, and they think it's all about burning calories. I got to go to the gym to burn calories. So I'm going to do this boot camp, or I'm going to do these like circuits where like I do reps over here, and then I go over really quick, no rest, do the reps over here. I take no rest to go do reps over here. I see people doing this a lot. They're just like bouncing around from machine to machine with like no rest. And what I end up seeing is like somebody who's chasing the calorie burn, the heart rate, the sweat, and they're not doing anything to max intensity that would help them grow muscle and build strength. Because that's the only reason you're at the gym for this protocol, is to get strong and to build muscle and to stimulate your muscles to grow. Because when you're trying to cut a bunch of body fat, your main priority is keep the muscle that you've got and build a little bit if you can. And we're doing that through getting adequate protein and training hard. Training hard like you have to lift something, that makes you very uncomfortable multiple times a week.
Yep.
So takes us to number 5, the 5th, the peak of the pyramid. And this is where, unfortunately, a lot of people go to first. They actually go here first. They think, I need to get in shape. Which supplement should I buy?
What should I order?
Yeah. What's your stack, right? And so supplements are not nothing, but they're by far the lowest, in terms of priority when it comes to moving the needle. And the supplements that I say are super simple for this guy. Take creatine, 5 to 10 grams a day. Have a whey protein supplement to make getting your protein easy. And it should just be protein with nothing else in it. Mm-hmm. So a very clean whey protein isolate if you can get it. And lastly, like a fish oil. Fish oil, because we've dropped your essential fatty acids down to the minimum. We want to make sure that you're getting, so fish oil is going to give you this very rich amount of omega-3 fatty acids, which are great for, different health markers, heart health. And there's some loose evidence on like it aiding maybe in some fat loss. So we're going to take those 3. And then everything else, you can literally just throw it away. You can save about $150 per month on your supplements, or maybe even more. Yep. And just buy these. That none of those are very, expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can get them relatively cheap and in high quality from like Costco. I don't know if Costco has creatine right now, but they probably do. So that's the pyramid. And then the one more layer that I gave to him was sort of like a meal breakdown, a meal plan. And what I do is I say, hey, we're not going to overcomplicate this at the beginning. I want 3 square meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Breakfast should happen no later than 9 a.m. in the day. Lunch happens midday, whatever that is for you. Dinner happens when it works in your family. And then if there's a big gap between lunch and dinner, you put a snack in between those. If there's a big gap between dinner and bedtime, you put a snack before bedtime. And so it's 3 meals and 1 snack. And that snack is going to look like just a kind of a micro meal in terms of how it's composed.
Yeah.
But we just balance out the macronutrients evenly amongst all of those, with the snack maybe being 100 to 150 calories less than the 3 meals. And once you have that structure in place, put it on rinse and repeat for 12 weeks, and it will transform your life, and you will be a different person, with now a whole new lease on like, what am I capable of? And that's where I want people to get to. I want you to get to the place of like, oh, what am I actually capable of? I just saw myself do something I never thought possible amidst a busy schedule, amidst a life that, demands me in other places. And yeah, if you have so much demand on your time in other places, this is going to be harder than those who have a little bit more time. There's a lot of men out there that have the time, and they've been spinning their wheels doing the wrong stuff and just like trying this fad and be like, this is not making any difference. None of this works. And it's like, when we get our hands on them, it's just like, boom, light bulbs just going crazy.
What was the biggest surprise for him in all this?
I think the surprise when I said the no cardio thing, so we're not doing that. When I exposed, he came in and trained with me and we lifted once and he was just like smoked. He was like, whoa, like I pushed him pretty hard. And he's like, I just never pushed myself this way. I'm like, I get it. Most people don't. It's a skill. You got to get better at it. Like, that's why you take video and send it to your coaches so that you know, like, am I actually doing the thing right? Like, you got to be accountable to it. We have a system for making you train harder. Like, it's called accountability and feedback. And I think he's going to be surprised when we dig in deeper to his food tracking that he doesn't track well.
Yeah.
I believe that's going to be the case. I don't know. I haven't actually reviewed his food logs yet, but I have a sense that, you know, he relies a lot on that estimation. Like, I'm getting something at Sweet Greens. What should it be today? I'm getting something here. I'm like, that's, you know.
That's mid.
It's that. Yeah. So yeah, I'm excited to like put him through the experiment and, you know, document the process. But ultimately, like, I don't need, you know, I didn't pitch it to him like, hey, I want to prove to see that this thing works.
Oh,
like,
we know it works.
It works. It works every time. Like, I should pull up the quotes from, you know, some of the clients that are just going through this right now.
Yeah.
But it's just like, what was I doing for so long? Like, so many guys like I know that are just they're putting their energy in the wrong place. I always thought I was in a calorie deficit. I always thought I was like doing this right. I always thought it's like, yeah, well, 15 pounds in 9 weeks will make you rethink a lot of what you were doing. It's like, oh, you're getting stronger still? Oh, you dropped a bunch of body fat? Oh, you're getting comments from everybody at your gym? Oh, like and we've just gotten started? Like, yeah, there's a lot of power to this thing. And I say, like, rather than just do it halfway and seeing like not good results, go all in and do the hard thing. I want more people to just be like, I want to try the hard thing, not take the easy way. And just because I know if I just do the hard thing and I really go after it, like, I'm gonna have wins.
Love it. We should do a follow-up.
But we will.
Yeah.
Might have to have him on the show.
Yeah. We'll let you all know how it worked out.
Smokes 42 minutes with a content piece that we did in 35 seconds on Instagram.
We're going long form today.
Long form. All right, y'all. Well, I'll be sure to, just remind you. If you're out there, if you're feeling like this resonates with you, if you've been stuck, like, just message us. Like, let's hop on a call. We'll do a strategy. We'll do a game plan call. And we'll see if you're actually a good fit to work with us. Because, I want y'all to feel the wins.
For sure.
Okay. Have a great day.
See ya.